Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a very long time. I do plan on making and having a pump up video going for this upcoming season. I still gotta work through it and everything, unfortunately, but I also want to get my thoughts on what I want the team to look like here for next season. Give my reason to talk about, and just in the end see what everyone else thinks. I kind of looked through some people's teams and rosters for next year, and I think some of them are going kind of not realistic with some of the trade proposals that they put on. I'm gonna try to be at least somewhat realistic, and even if it's not the full thing, I'll try to explain that when it comes to that. But with that being said, let me pull this up behind me and we can get going. So yes, I'm going to be using Puck Doku's the Puck Doku, or Puckpedia, not Puck Doku. They do have Puck Doku, fun game. But Puckpedia one here. Also right now we're missing the second line left center. Don't worry, that'll get fixed. I saw some people training like Rusty for a couple four, like along some of the things with like seconds and thirds, and a player like no, like, but let's go through this a little bit. First up of everything, Arctis Sealoft. I would say give him a 2 or 3 year deal. I'm gonna say 3 years at like $3.5 million. I think that's fine. I think that's fair. So I'll sign him to that. That will take up the one goalie spot that we're missing. And honestly, Sealoft's it's got to be Murashov going for next year, at least as a backup, if not kind of starting to take over already. So that's your goaltending situation taken care of right there. I don't see why it's you can make the arguments for Skinner. I find that I think you bring back one of them. I prefer Sealoft's just younger, and he played better when it came to the playoffs. So that's why in the end I give the edge to Sealoft's. Especially when you look at when we get to the later ones, why you'll see that I say Sealoft's and why the playoffs make such a big deal for me. Next big thing you need to take off, Chinny. I say you give him 5.5. 5.5 for 5 years. I know some people might not necessarily agree or think that he shouldn't be given that much right now or anything. I mean, you can make that argument. I don't think you're right. And you put him on that second line again. So I'll have to see off. Honestly, like, the roster count's gonna be off here for a little bit. But it'll come up. But like $5.5 million. I kind of went through this like thing. I might have changed up a little bit. I'm actually gonna take a peek at that real quick. Did I give Igor? Oh yeah, I gave Igor even a raise from Liz, but I think he'd be worth it. I think he's worth it at 5.5. I know he's still young on it. I think having a full year with us and just, I know he kind of disappeared in the playoffs. It was also his first time ever there. you want to do that, then you should be having a problem with guys like Kindle and them. I don't think there's anything there. They're all young. I think they'll grow and just be fine. I don't think there's much need to be concerned. So you're not going to give Bloom's one, but I think you should sign him. You need some guys for the A. When it comes to the NHL cap hits, 2.5, I think is fine. He's not going to be on. He's going to be anchoring down that AHL squad. Fine. I don't know much about. Actually, I want to see more of the Wilkes-Barre teams play so I can know some of these prospects better, but they are just not very easily watchable for me when it comes to everything, which sucks. But I'd like to see Ponomarev get re-signed. 2 years, 2.5. I think that's fine. Koivunen, I like, again, something like a 2 years, 2.5. I think that's probably fine. This will change, people, don't worry. And yes, all that will change too, don't worry. We're not done. There's a lot with Clues, Nucius. I think you need to sign him. Horcroft, you sign him. There's still a lot of development that they need to do, so I don't think they make the roster here. So like they'll end up being down here in the AHL. Not making the team yet, but fine. Okay, another thing I have here is with this. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm not necessarily a big proponent of this, because it would require, it's a deal for Darnell Nurse. I don't think you give up any actual futures. If anything, it's like, to me the conversation starts with you're taking back Sam Girard. What? Sam Girard? No. Ryan Graves. Like, that's where I think the conversation needs to start. The only problem is if I come over here. This is why I wanted to have both of these guys up. Yeah, modify no A team, so that's probably taking up all of Canada. Like, Canada and Buffalo is typically what those are. Maybe you can say, and like even with Sam Girard, which I think is the other piece that you'd have to talk about. To me, they gotta take at least one of these guys back. Maybe you can put something else in there as well to make it more reasonable, but to me that's where that starts. I don't like that deal, so like I'm not going to do that one. This is one I think you need to convince people, especially the person that would be coming back. I want to see if you can convince Dylan Larkin to come over to Pittsburgh. I know, like, supposedly his team trade list got leaked. It's, what? Florida, Vegas, Tampa, I think it was. Like, oh, Cup. if you're Detroit, you don't trade him in division. So there goes Tampa Bay and Florida. You're going to be hard-pressed to get him traded in conference, but I think you're going to have an easier time doing that. So that leaves only Vegas, and Vegas doesn't have the deal. Yzerman will just sit and wait for that in order to get the right deal for him. This will probably be where some people don't like if I take it, but I think you put in Braggio. To me, you put in Braggio. I don't think you need him on this team. I'm not interested in Tommy Novak being a center for this team, especially not second line center, and you're not going to replace Kindle or Lazard there. So I think you start off there with those two roster players going back to you. I don't want to give up them. I mean, maybe you can convince them to take on Kevin Hayes. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's also a free agent. Yeah. He's coming up and being a free agent, so like he's not gonna do it anyway. So like that wouldn't be it anyway. Race chain? I don't need a lefty. That's so like that one. Maybe you can get them to want one of them back. I don't know. Before, when I was thinking about this, I figured you put in Emil Peniniemi. Honestly, that can't happen right now. We'll come back to this fully here in a second. I liked Shea, personally. I did. I know he's on Bailey Line, but I think you re-sign him. Nothing crazy. 2-year, not 20 million. 2-year, $2 million. I think that's fine. Personally. Let me pull up Detroit's roster here as well. It's like I don't think many of these guys are gonna get re-signed. Those guys, I mean, they kind of have the right side, like the defense locked up. We do have a decent amount of cap space. So here's almost like what I'm thinking, since I don't like the Nurse deal, and I think he can be useful, just not for us. Let's say you attain $1.5 million on Sam Girard, making him a $3.5 million play lot. Yep, I think that would be just fine. I think he could be useful for Detroit. They might want to get a bit younger on the defense, but I think it's also fine. Yeah, and then it's like that. You're just not gonna go through with just that. So you're kind of draining this, but I think you got to give up a decent, like, in terms of value, a decent amount of draft picks. So, say you put the 22nd overall pick in, and I think the Rangers will be a higher draft pick than us next year, and maybe a third. Like, this is kind of what I'm thinking of for that. So, like, that's the kind of trade I would do. That's one that I think would be just fine. So that'll put a second line of Igor Chinnikov, Dylan Larkin, and Evgeny Malkin. To me, that's right there and really good. I want Rutger with Kindy. I just do. I think he needs to be actually given a shot. If you're not going to actually give him a shot here, then you might want to look at using him as a trade piece. That's just where it is at this point. I think Avery Hayes is fine to be on the floor throwing with Lazat and Dua. I think that actually works well, given the style that they all can play, and especially those two like to play. I think you get Kindle Koivunen as well. And like that's kind of where I see what are we seeing on the contracts? Oh, perfect actually. But like that's kind of where I want to see the forwards go. Like that's your first line. I really do think you need an upgrade at second line center. And it'll take a lot. It'll be difficult to do. But I really do think you should go and try to take a look at an actual shot at Larkin. I think he could and might help push you over top. That looks so much better than having Kindle as a well, Kindle I think can be. Novak as your second line center. You can figure out maybe Ponomarev. Like Ponomarev probably needs to be down here still. Soderblom I think is fine to be in here. Is Caleb Jones even like where is he in things? Because I know he got hurt. So I haven't seen any real updates from him from what I can remember seeing. So I mean he might not even really be good to go. So he might be down on the IR here. But I just personally I don't see him really cracking the roster, especially when where is he? Here he is. When I think Brunik's going to be the one that ultimately jumps up and takes a spot on this roster. Graves, I'm sorry, like he has some good uses. I just don't think he's an NHL defenseman for us. I just don't. You put Solo on the wing here with on the left side of Brunik. Let them sit, and also you can probably rotate between Shea and St. Ivany. I think either one was fine playing alongside Chris Letang. Wotherspoon, like he is Carlson's defense partner. I don't want to see those two really get broken up at all. I just think it makes too much sense that those two stay together. They play really well together, they complement each other, and they both seem to really succeed. And you're coming to the end of all the contracts. Crosby is technically up. We'll see if he wants to go. Gino only signed for 1 year. We'll see if he comes back on another good deal. Coulson's is up. He's probably gonna might want to start looking at retirement. Letang still has another year. Who knows what that's gonna look like. So you need a lot of these young guys to start coming in and taking up. So, I mean, I know I signed Shea. Maybe you don't, and you just use St. Ivany, which that's fine. I'm fine with that. I liked Shea. I liked how he played alongside Letang. Letang just needs to be better than he was last year. I don't think getting Nurse fixes the Letang was shit last year. He was. Letang was just shit last year. He needs to be better. He just does. So maybe you don't re-sign Shea. I like Shea. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back. St. Ivany can be whatever. Pickering. I want him to actually be making a hard push here for the NHL roster. I think he should be making a push on the NHL roster at this point. I hope he does. I wouldn't give up on him just yet. If anything, I say he can go in the press box. No. I'm gonna put Jones down here for now. I know some might not necessarily like that, or maybe he does make the team. I don't know. Like, you'll need to sign guys for down here, and that'll probably fill up with like Alexiev and whatnot. Travis Hayes, Zamplant. Like, maybe they come in and fill out the AHL squad here. But for the NHL roster, this is kind of what at least I think you need to get younger. You got killed because you couldn't keep up with the younger legs and the speed that your cross-state rivals, the one team that you need to be able to beat almost more than any other team, you got outskated and you got outworked. You got outsped. You need the younger legs to keep up and go. I know he's traded for Dylan Lundgren. He can still play, and he's still good. I think he would have been able to keep up in that Philadelphia series, and I think he would have pushed us over the edge. I just don't think he can handle being the guy in a place like Detroit. He doesn't need to be the guy here in Pittsburgh. I mean, look at the names that he's surrounded by. Crosby's right ahead of him on the depth chart. Rust, Gino, Kindle's going to take up a lot more of the future spotlights. Rutger, I think he needs to be given an actual shot in the NHL. Same with Koivu. Hayes, I think, can hang. You got Carlson and Letang. Like, he's not going to be looked at to be the guy when it comes to this roster and who is going to be the ultimate look to. Is he going to be expected to contribute and everything? Yes. I think he can do that, though. He doesn't need to be getting the first line toughest assignments every night, every game. And he's not going to. But who knows? Maybe Tristan Braz makes a push to come up. Maybe Tanner Howe makes a push. Maybe you flip Koivunen and Panamarev. Like, there's a lot more flexibility here that you have, and you still have 17 million cap space that you can work with. This, who knows? Maybe Bloomquist becomes a trade chip that you look at. Soda Blom could become a trade chip for you to look at. And just because I like to do this, let's just go through real quickly and show what I want, or what I would think the PK everything is. Rusty would go over here. Like, I just don't think they're gonna change up this. Raquel needs to be essentially just go and stand in front of the net. Batang is gonna be the second line there. Larkin should be getting that. But I almost feel like you give Chinny, Gretka, and Kindle. Like, I think that's almost like what the second power play should be on that. Maybe you can flip in Koivunen from time to time, but like, that's what I feel like that second power play unit should kind of be. I just like having that right-handed shot over there. Kindle's a great penalty killer. I think he'd be fine to be on there. And like, you can rotate whoever takes the face-offs depending on there. You're gonna use Letang and Carlson on them both. Is that necessarily the greatest one? I don't know. But I kind of think you almost like just use those D pairings. And you have Dewar and Hayes do the other penalty kill there. Like, you're never gonna actually see a third PK, I don't think. Maybe you can flip in guys like Koivunen down there just to get them some ice time. Maybe you ask Gretka to take on a couple more of those, like a little bit more of that responsibility, so that he can stay engaged in the game. But I feel like that's kind of just what the PK would end up being. And like, again, maybe you flip Hayes to play with Lazard and have Kindle be on the second penalty kill with Dewar, so that there's a center there. Like, maybe that's what happens, but like, I feel like just in general, like, that's a good power play too. That's a good power play. They better be a good power play one. I think that's a good penalty kill unit altogether. And just the 5-on-5 lines in general, I think that, especially if these guys can take the steps that they need to and should be, I think this is a good just a good Stanley Cup caliber team. I really do. You have the veterans, you have the young legs, you got the mix, you have guys coming up, you have the goaltending, especially if Murshov continues with what he was showing. A picks, like, that's a good opportunity for him to step in and start to take over. And who knows, maybe if he is able to take the step, you don't even need to re-sign Shea at all, and it can be a Pickering Letang pairing, which I think worked just fine last year as well. Like, I think there's a lot of options, but I think the biggest thing is You need to get younger. You need to start letting some of these younger guys come in and start taking their responsibilities. You need to be okay with them making some rookie young mistakes. And maybe fans aren't going to necessarily accept that or want that. I think that's the reality of where you are, though. You need to be able to have the young kids come in and step up. I still don't think you have the face on the forwards yet. Like, you don't have that Letang. You don't have the Gino. Because he would be the face if he was on any other team, almost any other team other than us. But it's Crosby. Larkin, I think, fixes what is your biggest weakness, which is the second line center position. I don't like Novak in that line. I'm not interested in a Gerard Letang pairing. I'm not really interested in Novak being a second line center on this team. Shea's good. I don't mind having him come back. I'd rather see some of the other young guys come in, like Pickering, and actually take that step. Brunick looks like he is ready to take the step into the NHL. St. Ivany, I think, could hang in beside Letang just fine. Like, who knows if Cruz Lucius is able to? Tristan Bras, Bill Zahn, and Will Horkoff. Like, there's these... I don't think Zahn and Horkoff, I still think they're going to be kept down. Not necessarily kept down, but, like, let develop in the AHL some more. I don't know what Caleb Jones' injury status at this point really is. If he's going to be able to come back to play. Graves, I just don't think is a defenseman for this team. I wish I could say more on the prospects, but I'm just a fan. I don't have insight and I don't have any way to really watch the young AHL squad. I want to. I wish I could, but like, this is almost what I feel like the NHL roster should be something like. Is it going to be exactly this? I'd be severely surprised if it was. But this second line left defenseman, I think, can be filled by a few people. I think Shea can fill it just fine. I think St. Ivany can. I wouldn't mind seeing if Pickering just fill that and take over and have another young guy take on the role that should be being taken on. I know defensemen take longer to develop and whatnot. I still would like to see him, especially with the fucking high that he was getting projected with. I would really like to see him kind of start to take over and start to inject himself, force himself to be put in that NHL lineup. But this is what I say will be, or should be, what the NHL roster is. I think I gave a pretty good reasoning behind it. I hope everyone can, even if you disagree, which if you don't agree, that's fine. Just please feel free, let me know down in the comments. Please at least be a little bit respectful. We're all fans, we're just trying to have some fun. But please let me know what you think of some of the stuff that I suggested or put out here. Let me know your thoughts on what you want to have for the NHL roster coming up here in the next season. And hopefully I'll be able to do some more just shoot the shit videos about hockey and, well, Pittsburgh sports in general, as I have the Pirates playing right beside me when I'm recording this. But until next time, I hope everyone has a good day, has a good night, has a good life, and finds some kind of joy and happiness that's legal. in the world. Till next time, peace.